Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sarah Carino-Koza. I'm the band director here at Spotswood High School, and it's my absolute pleasure to welcome you to our annual Winter Holiday Concert. I want to make you aware of the fantastic art display that we have out in the lobby. You've probably seen it as you're walking in. Our talented visual arts students under the excellent tutelage of Allison Collins and Elizabeth Bartell really showcase their creativity so well under their guidance. So I encourage you to check it out in intermission and also on your way out this evening. If you have a device that makes a noise, like a watch or a phone or a tablet, we ask that you put it on silent so that we don't disrupt the performance tonight. If you ordered a poinsettia from us, first of all, thank you so much for your support. All proceeds from that fundraiser and many others this year, they're going to go towards our trip to Washington, D.C. This spring. And at the conclusion of this evening's performance, you can pick them up right up here on stage. They're actually in alphabetical order from A to Z. I'll remind you of that before we leave because there is a lot to take in tonight, some wonderful music. And the first half of tonight is going to feature the brass choir, which is right behind me. Many of you were at the tree lighting in town on Saturday. You were treated to wonderful music performances, including that of the brass choir. We were glad to have wonderful weather, unlike last year when unfortunately it was canceled. So it was properly chilly, so it made us really feel like it's holiday time. And after that, we will welcome back to the stage graduate of 2019 class, Amy Coraggio. She will be joining her private music instructor on flute, Mrs. Christina Restine, which many of you know, middle school choir and band director. And the three of us will do a trio for two flutes and piano. And then Mrs. Restine and I will spice things up with a little tango. So you're in for a really wonderful evening. We're going to take a short 10-minute intermission after the first half. And we encourage you to check out the concessions. Again, all of those proceeds go towards our spring trip. And I suppose that's it. Time to kick things off. So please enjoy a few selections from the Festivus Brass Choir.
Good evening, everybody. This is not my concert, so I'm very relaxed. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Christina Restine, and I am a Milltown resident, so yay Milltown folks. And yes, thank you. And I am the middle school music teacher here in Spotswood. And as it says in the program, I'm a proud graduate of Spotswood High School, so I haven't left this general vicinity in quite some time. A couple of years ago, Mrs. Carino Koza invited me to come back and play with her for the first half of the concerts, and it has been so much fun for us to get together and play, not with kids, no offense, but it's nice to play together. Mrs. Carino Koza mentioned that we were going to be doing a tango, and I just wanted to let everyone know that we are not physically going to be dancing. I move a little bit when I play, and so does she, but we will not be actually dancing. You don't want to see that. I would probably fall over, or maybe you do. But the piece we're about to play is called Libertango by a very famous composer named Piazzolla. Libertango is a combination of the words in Spanish that mean liberty and tango. It's a nice cognate for those of you who are language learners out there. This piece was originally written for the solo instrument of a bandeon, which is kind of like an accordion from Hispanic music. So when we were putting this together, it was fun for us to listen to different recordings and figure out how to make the style of this very percussive keyboard instrument translate to flute and piano. It's a lot of fun for us to play, and we hope that you enjoy Libertango.
Let's have another round of applause for the Festivus Brass Choir, as well as returning student Amy Coraggio. Congrats to Amy. And it's always great to collaborate with Mrs. Restine, who I always like to say we kind of grew up together because she was one of my first students ever when I started teaching here at Spotswood High School. So we're basically like the same person. So we welcome you to just take a break for about 10 minutes, and we'll be back with the concert band. Thank you. Okay. Back to the show. Please enjoy Jing Jing Jingle. So this next tune is actually a Polish carol that dates back to the 18th century. Grzeczniczna Panna, which roughly translates to When the Lovely Miss. In this case, the lovely miss that we're referring to is Mary. And it is a lullaby. It's a lullaby which she's rocking baby Jesus to sleep. So this kind of a piece is quite a challenge for any group. You know, we like to say that any band can play loud and fast, but it really takes a mature and patient group to play slow and delicate and mindful. And this is a piece I think we've really grown the most for that reason. There's not a whole lot of, rhythmic difficulty or pitch difficulty, but in terms of the musical line, it really forced us to think of a lot about endurance and breath support and how we can keep our notes in tune when we have to hold them out for a long period of time. So this is definitely going to shape how well we can do these kinds of pieces this year. And I think that you'll enjoy it, hopefully with the hustle and bustle, everybody kind of going in a million different directions. If we do it right, you'll be lulled into a nice calm state. So please enjoy a beautiful arrangement of When the Lovely Miss. So as you can see in your program, we had many students who are in our brass choir that you heard earlier. Also, quite a few auditioned successfully into our jazz band for the year. They're listed in your program with little markers next to their names. It was definitely one of the most well-prepared jazz audition series that I've heard in many years. These kids were really dedicated to learning pretty much the music on their own with very little guidance from me. So if that's any indication of what we're in for this year, then we're really excited to take our stuff on the road when we compete in DC in the spring, along with the wind ensemble and the concert band. So that'll be very exciting. So this next piece is called Latin Bell Carol, and it is driven in part by the percussion section. Latin music very much so relies on percussive instruments that are specific to that style. So I thought what might actually help you guys enjoy this a little bit more tonight is we're going to do a little bit of a demo for you in terms of what instrument makes what sound. So any good Latin percussion section is comprised of a couple different components. So we're going to start from the bottom. So we have a floor tom, which is basically a low drum. So Daniela is playing that. Give it another whack. There we have it. Okay, that's the low tom. And then also, not a Latin percussion instrument, but also quite important to that heavy driving bass is the timpani, and Yasin's playing the timpani, which is really a classical instrument. You see it in orchestras a lot, but we're going to be utilizing it in a different way in this piece. Then we have, I would say, two instruments that you're going to sort of hear featured that are sort of like the melody voices of the percussion section. First being the bongos. Graham is playing the bongos. There you have the bongos. And then CJ is playing an instrument called the timbale. There's silver drums back there. The cool thing about this part is that he's actually playing it in two positions on the instrument. So he's hitting the side of it to create a metallic clicking sound. And then also, he's hitting the drum head, which is going to sound a little bit like the floor tom that you heard earlier. And they're two pitches, just like the bongos. Then we have the fun stuff. We have something that we affectionately call the scrapey thing, but it's it's the real name for it is the guiro, and it's actually the traditional ones are made out of like a wooden gourd that they like carve out divots, and you scrape it with a scraper. Ours is plastic because it's more durable, but Caden plays that, so give us a little demo. Yeah, you'll hear that in a lot of Latin music, for sure. Then we have an iconic Latin instrument, the maracas. Jordana's playing those. And of course, we have the claves, which is the real standard Latin percussion instrument, and that is played by Jared. Yeah, okay. So you've got lots of different variation in sound. You're going to hear all of those parts featured in different ways in this song. It is Robert W. Smith's arrangement of Latin Bell Carol. So stay right there. We're going to bring out the wind ensemble. All right, and we're back. So this is the Honors Wind Ensemble. These students are 10th through 12th grade, and they all auditioned in February earlier this year, which was actually last school year, in order to be part of this really fantastic group. As with the concert band, even though we've known each other, some of us for 4 years or so, the group itself is starting to gain its identity, and it's always a fun process just to sort of see what happens. Seeing that process evolve is very cool. The thing that I realized when I looked at the program of the repertoire that I picked was that a lot of it that I picked tonight is very, untraditional, I would say. That is not the case for our first selection with Wind Ensemble. It's pretty much as traditional and standard as you get in terms of a setting of a holiday, medley. Claire Grunman has arranged 3 English holiday carols. Here We Go A-Wassailing, I Saw 3 Ships, and the very popular and classic Greensleeves. And it's really given us a good opportunity to investigate how a wind ensemble is orchestrated, the usage of certain instruments in a wind band that's not like a concert band, actually, that you just heard. It's basically an ensemble filled with soloists. There's basically 1 kid per part, so the accountability for each individual person in the group goes up. But the music is so much more complex because we have so many different parts that you will hear. And this is a really good version of what I was just explaining. So please enjoy Claire Grunman's An English Christmas. So we're going to change things up a little bit tonight. The members of the wind ensemble are going to be coming out into the crowd. And so this next piece that we're going to play for you is called Ave Maria. And I'm sure many of you have heard of a piece called Ave Maria before. In fact, many composers will take what we call a setting of some kind of text and will set it to music. So there's the Bruckner Ave Maria, there's the Biebel Ave Maria, there's the Schubert Ave Maria, and there's also the Rachmaninoff setting of the Ave Maria. And so what we're going to do for you is treat you to a little bit of a immersive performative experience. I'm going to take my position. Well, I'll stand over here and talk to everybody. So 1915, Rachmaninoff has his all-night vigil set. It's a 15-movement, essentially, work that is supposed to be to represent, like keeping vigil over, 12 to 16 hours from the day of Christmas Eve, like around noon, all the way through to like midnight of Christmas. And it's like an ongoing music celebration in the Russian Orthodox tradition. And so this setting, Bogorodice Dievo, is his version of that setting of the Ave Maria. And so Russian Orthodox music actually has the prevalent theme of bells in it. And so if you listen to any Russian classical music, you will hear somewhere in there bells represented. And so what the arranger of this piece has done is he's taken this beautiful a cappella choir version of Ave Maria that was originally written for all male voices, so very dark sound, and he's incorporated some mallet instruments. So it represents that, if you're standing in Red Square in Moscow and you hear the bells ring out, it's sort of all-consuming. It's kind of like you're enveloped by it. So the people sitting on the floor right now are about to get a treat. You guys are going to have the real, true, experience of being kind of surrounded by all of this beautiful music. And even if you're not sitting on the floor in the middle of the circle, you're going to get a little bit more of an intimate musical experience because we're off the stage. We're on the same plane as you all. So the sound, I'll be curious to see what you think about how different it is from being on stage, because we're kind of like inside of this little community. So this has been a very cool adventure for us to sort of workshop this. And we rehearsed Friday night and we decided this is what we were going to do. And we all felt really good about it. So we're very excited to present it to you. This is Sergei Rachmaninoff's setting of Ave Maria. Much different experience, huh? Yeah. The great venues of the world, performance venues, Carnegie Hall, Avery Fisher, the Kimmel Center in Philadelphia, actually NJPAC in Newark is quite good as well. They really aim to give you the experience wherever you're sitting in the venue of having the sound envelop you. We make the best of what we have here in our cafetorium. And, I feel like we have some really great bands over the last many years that I've been here, and we make this place sound better than it was built to be. It wasn't meant to be a performance venue in the way that we would want it to, but we bring the music to the people. We have to be very, very creative, and so hopefully you all sitting on the floor, hopefully you enjoyed that, because we've really enjoyed kind of workshopping that idea. So I'm going to walk and talk here. The next piece that we have for you is called Secret Agent Santa. Any James Bond fans in the house? Yeah. I'm sure you saw the trailer that came out recently, right? So Daniel Craig is at it again, despite what I hear is maybe going to be his last time doing it. Who knows? I think he said that last time. I suppose this would be James Bond's, favorite holiday tune. We have so many fun little tips of the hat to some of your favorite spy movies. Mission Impossible is sort of given a little bit of an homage in some sections being written in 5/4, which is, the time signature for Mission Impossible, for those of you who are musicians in the audience. We also have some fun little effects in the percussion section, which makes it sound like something that you see on the screen. You can almost see like an actionable thing happening with some of the effects in the percussion section. This has been a real treat for us to put together. It's super fun. We hope that you enjoy it. And I was thinking that I should probably get into character in order to, really do this right. So. So we're going to bring out our concert band, and quite a few alumni are here tonight to play along with us. So they're going to get set up for sleigh ride. I'm going to remind you that the next band payment of $100 is due on December 20th. November's payment is past due at this point. It was also in the amount of $100. All checks should be made payable to the SBPA. This Saturday, December 14th, the Central Jersey Wind Ensemble will present a holiday concert at the Milltown American Legion at 1 o'clock. A few of our Honors Wind Ensemble students were invited to play along with this professional group, and they are for sure keeping up with the pros. So it is for an excellent cause. All proceeds go towards the Milltown Historical Society. So I encourage you to go out. It's going to be a really rainy day on Saturday, so you might as well stay inside and hear some really fantastic holiday music. Tickets are $10 for adults and $8 for seniors. 15th annual, I can't believe I'm saying that, District Bands Night is coming up in January 16th at 6:30. That's when we bring over the 7th and 8th graders from Milltown and Spotswood, and they join with the Wind Ensemble, and we present a really wonderful community evening of music. So that'll be a wonderful evening. That's January 16th. Just a reminder, at the conclusion of tonight's performance, you can pick up your poinsettias. They are in alphabetical order, A to Z. The band parents will be up here to sort of help you if you can't find your plants. I would like to thank the Board of Education, which is always very supportive of the arts in Spotswood, our Superintendent, Graham Peabody, Selena Pewitt, Mike Mastroserio, our Department Chair, Gina DiVincenzo, and also the entire administration for their leadership and support. We also want to extend a very warm welcome to Spotswood to our new high school principal, Amy Jablonski. So welcome to Ms. Jablonski. I want to give a special thanks to my colleagues, these special and incredibly dedicated and professional group that they are. The faculty here at Spotswood High School are very flexible when kids are spending time in band, a little bit of extra time to prepare for nights like these. So I'm very appreciative of my colleagues. Thank you to Peter Lee, Bob Vetrison, and Tom Liming, and the entire custodial crew for their reliability and efficiency in helping us move stuff and create a cafetorium that ends up being a performance space. They put in a lot of work outside of their day-to-day, so we're appreciative that they are there for us and supportive in that way. Thanks to Joe Schwartz and the graphics department for doing tonight's program. I want to thank Andrew Zaborny and his crew up there, the Channel 3 crew, for recording our concerts, doing the sound tonight, and generally just being good friends of our program. I want to thank the band parents for their help organizing the refreshments, the poinsettia sale, also the tuck shirt distribution. Of course, I have to thank my parents I wouldn't be here without them. And also my husband Brian and my in-laws. They're very supportive of all the hours that I am not home. They sometimes forget what I look like, and that's because I'm here. It's a privilege to be in front of your children every day. I feel very lucky to be part of this community. And so if I'm not going to be home with my family, I'd rather be with all of you. So thank you for your support of what your children do in the music arts in Spotswood. And I think looks like we're ready to go. Hi. Hi, guys. Okay. So I think we'll do some sleigh rides. So sit back and enjoy. Our seniors are wearing Santa hats. So yay, class of 2020. So on behalf of all of us here at Spotswood High School, in particular the music department, I want to wish you and your families a wonderful holiday season. Again, we'll be back on stage January 16th at the District Bands Night, which I know some of you who have younger students in the middle school, you'll get to see some of your older kids and younger kids on stage at the same time, which I know is hard to get. So I look forward to see you then, and thank you again for your support with the poinsettias, A to Z. Have a great night, everyone. Drive safely. Thank you.